Hey you, what are you doing in my kitchen? Get out! Just kidding. I finished kneading the bread, as you can see. This is a beautiful doughy consistency. It's nice and elastic. It bounces back a little when you press it. That means basically it's ready. I folded it on itself more than 100 times, and after folding it on itself, I used the side of the dish that I'm kneading in to shape it. I'm shaping it into a nice ball. And once it's shaped into a nice ball, and it's folded in itself, so it closes underneath it, so when it expands it doesn't fold out but rather fans out. I'm going to put it in this silicone dish. Now I use silicone because silicone is the healthiest dish to cook in at temperatures up to 250. It exudes no gases, it holds the contents in fantastically well. I've used this since the beginning and it always gives me wonderful results. So put it in here, and now it's time to cover it with an oily cling film. And why oily? Because once the bread expands and rises, it becomes sticky at the top. And if you don't have oil in your cling film, it sticks to the cling film. When you peel it off, you basically collapse the bread. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the cling film that we prepared ahead of time. It was the same cling film that we used to cover the bowl. And we're going to oil it. I recommend using avocado oil as the oil that I use. It's the healthiest oil, the highest smoking point. It requires no refining and it has a wonderful taste as well. Just a little bit of oil in the cling film to make sure that when the dough rises nicely, it doesn't stick to the top. Our oily cling film is ready to be placed on top of our lovely loaf. And this is there to make sure that it doesn't dry out during the long period which we're going to let it rise. The longer you let it rise, the more sour it's going to get, the better the taste, and the better the crumb, the more bubbles are going to form. I'm not going to heat the oven up, it's going to be room temperature. England now is sort of beginning of springtime, it's not too cold. If it were the winter, I would warm it up to about 25-30 degrees, but no more. I don't want it to rise quickly, I want it to rise slowly and thoroughly. The yeast has a lot of time to transform the flour into CO2 and the lactobacillus, which is the sourness, basically, in the bread has a long time to spread and multiply and give the bread a really deep, good, sour flavor. Now we're going to place it in here and we're going to forget all about it until tomorrow, early midday, before we take it. So take a look at it now. This is how it looks at the moment. Next time you're going to see it, it will have changed quite a lot. Okay. The cling film is covering it. It doesn't have to be 100% hermetic. All we want to make sure is that it doesn't dry out. And it won't dry out that way. It's going to rise nicely. And I put it in the place where I'm going to bake it, because moving it around after it's risen, I found it tends to make it collapse, tends to make the bubbles collapse at the top, makes it more difficult to get a beautiful crumb. So hopefully tomorrow we're going to bake a nice bread and we're going to get the crumb very much like the bread we already showed you ahead of time. So see you tomorrow in the morning. We're going to go to bed, the bread is going to go to work, and hopefully tomorrow we're going to have a lovely loaf.